Hi guys, very good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to the video number 578. So as usual, this time again I have brought something very interesting for you, and my one of my subscribers had emailed me this question, and it is a fantastic thing. You will thoroughly enjoy it. You will fall in love with the Excel VBA. Trust me on that. So welcome to the channel, youtube.com/c/Ajay Kumar Parmar, and those people who are watching the channel for the first time, welcome to the channel. We have got 578 videos on Excel, Excel VBA, Access and Access VBA. We have got everything here, guys. So this is a this is a place where you can find all the levels: basic level, intermediate level, advanced level, everything you'll find on the channel. Okay, now let me take you to the question which I got it from David. So David had emailed me this. Okay, he had emailed me this from UAE, and I show you his this the Excel file, and now you can see that what exactly he wants is that I want a dash like this by default, but when entered a value it should show the value, and later if I delete the value, the blank cell should show a dash again. Are you getting the point, guys? He is specifically targeting this cell, this cell, this cell, and this cell, and this cell, and this cell. These the cells, which are colored. Okay, now I have already made the program, and it took almost 30 minutes for me to think on it, right? So here I'm gonna share that code with you, but first of all I'll try to explain what is happening. So he wanted a solution on this worksheet, specifically on this worksheet only, master essay, and he says that anything if I go and write in these colored cells, let's say if I write here something called 77. Now when I press enter, since the value is there, so we should not have any changes. If I write anything here, the value should come as it is. You can see here I'm going to write something here in all these cells one by one, and what I'm writing is getting displayed here, right guys? But here comes the important part. Now if I delete this, then I do not want that it should immediately go. I mean, it should go, but the cell should not look like blank, not like these all blank cells. You see there is a hyphen sign which is coming here. If I go and delete this, there is a hyphen sign automatically coming. If I go and delete this, there is a hyphen sign coming. If I go and delete this, there is a hyphen sign coming. If I go and delete this, there is a hyphen sign coming. And if I just go and put some value back here, the value is coming. This is amazing. Amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed this the code. Thank you so much, David. Hats off to you, because you guys ask such a great questions, and that's what I think is making my channels survive. So let's go and talk about that. Now before I want to directly show you the code, you just pause the video, just give it a thought. How are you going to do that? You know what, guys, the thing is, what is the crux of this? What is the main that ingredient which you are going to you can't ignore that? What is that? The thing is, here you need a macro which should automatically run. It should not wait for your click, right? Because the moment I delete this, there has to be some macro which immediately checks, all right, so this guy is she has deleted something, and that too in this specific these colored cells. So I'm gonna check whether that deletion, once I delete something, the value is there something or not the value. Obviously when you delete, there is no value, right? So that's the point. But how to make sure that on every delete your macro should run and check whether whether it is a deletion process or it is something you have entered it. So this is where one of my favorite thing, event, is going to come into action. Now if you do not know anything about the events, then I first request you to go to the events playlist, Excel VBA event playlist. Go and watch the first 2 or 3 videos. They are the very basic level videos. You'll understand it, right? Now the thing is, I'll directly take you to the Visual Basic. Now you see this is a very small code I have written, but it took almost 30 minutes for me to design this because these requirements are not really so easy. Okay, now the important point is I have not written anything in the module, guys. This is not a standard operating place. This is a place which should run only on the sheet called master essay, and that's why you go in the sheet 1, you double click there, and you're gonna find this event here. Okay, this is what I have written here. Now all these things which I have written here, I'll explain you. So what happens when you go to the sheet? For example, if this is my sheet 2, right, we have a sheet 2 as well here, which has a name called sheet 3. If I go and double click on that sheet, let me just increase the width of this. You see that this is the window. Now here, if anything I write here, that is going to be specific to the sheet 3. So you can choose all your events from here. I select the worksheet, and then from here, this drop down, these are all the events. These events means that they are the self-triggered macro. So what I did is I selected the macro called change, and this is the macro which you find on the master essay. So what it means is that anytime if any change happens in the sheet 3, then this macro will trigger. That is why I have written this in the master essay, because I want to make sure that anything if I write in the sheet master essay, it should immediately be checked whether it is a deletion or whether there is some value coming. Okay, so that's why this event is going to form. You can see here I have selected the change. Now what happens, let me put the break code here. Now if you look at this line, the target as range, what do you mean by this line? Target as a range is a VBA word. It is a parameter. It is related to the cell on which you are working, right? Now suppose if I go and write something here, I press enter. The moment I press enter, this event will fire, as you can see here, right? Because I put the break code, so I can just go and start moving it, right? So now the thing is, what happens, I'm trying to explain you what is the range, what is this target word means. You can see that the moment I hover my cell on this target, it tells me about the value. You remember guys, when you pressed enter, what you wrote 99. So this 99 is automatically going to be captured. This is the beauty of this target, and this is where we are going to use the first line which I have used is the set my range 1 equals to application dot intersect range D12 to Q12 and then comma target. What does that mean, right? Now this line means that application dot intersect checks that. So when you write the application dot intersect, you write intersect, you start the bracket, you see that argument 2 as a range, argument 3, argument 4. You can see here there are so many arguments. So what does that mean? Whenever you want to find that the cell on which you are working, the cell which is going to be changed, if that is a part of some range, right, then you use this application dot intersect. So what we are saying that in my range D12 to Q12, if the target means the cell where you're going to bring the change, because you're writing this under the worksheet change event, right? If my target is going to be a part of this range called D12 to Q12, what is D12 to Q12? Look at this. If I select this cell, this is my D12. So from here and from here, this is what I have done. D12 to Q12, because this is the only range which David actually has, I think he's targeting. So you can expand the range as well. So I'm saying that if in this range anything gets changed, let us go and check that whether that change is leading us to to some value, or it is going to be an empty cell, because if you delete something, it's going to be empty. So that's why this is the very important line, you write it here, right? So that your target is, it was this D12. So what happens, this when you run this line, I have written here that if this range RNG1, if it is going to be nothing, that means your cell is a different cell. It is not the cell you want to target. It is not coming under D12 to Q12. But in our case, it is not like that. And that is why is nothing returns something actually. So condition fails. And now when you know that your target was under the range of D12 to Q12, obviously this 99 is under the range of D12 to Q12, right? Then we will go and check that is that equals to space or what. So I'm gonna just quickly go and find it out. The value is 99, which is not equals to space. So if it is not space, if it is not blank cell, then let us go and exit, because then we do not want to do anything. Let the value print there and the macro stops. Okay, now see this again. I'm going to write something here called 77, and you know the cell is B82, which is not a part of my range. So the moment I press enter, now when you run this, you see that this set range is going to capture everything here. Okay, so now when this process happens, when your range is going to implement this, execute this intersect line, it will check that whether the target is a part of D12 to Q12 or not, and it is not a part of that. Now you see, so that is why the result of this range is going to come as is nothing, because your intersection application.intersect returns nothing. Why? Because the range which you have written here in the first parameter and then comma target, this target, it does not belong to this, because your target actually was on the B82, right? So the macro again stops. This is how it is. And by the way, I don't need the range 2, range 3. Let me delete that. This is how the program is. Okay, now let us go. So you have checked that if I go and write something, maybe if I go and let's say I delete this cell, for example, I go and write here something, this is not a part of this range, this intersection point D12 to Q12, so your range will come as nothing. If it is nothing, macro will immediately stop, it will exit, right? So we have sorted out. The second thing which you learned is that if I go and write something here called, let's say, 888, and I press enter, then obviously my range is going to come something, right? So this range actually, you can see here, it returns 888, so that means it is not nothing. So what happens? It goes in the else mode, but in the else mode it finds that the value is not equals to blank, so that's why we are again exiting. Okay, because we do not want to do anything. If the value comes, let it be there. But if I now, guys, go and delete this, this is what the important part is. Now when you go and delete this line, what will happen? Look at this. Basically, when you delete something, this target is always considered as a range, and you can see here now it shows you as nothing. Okay, now target cannot be nothing because it is defined as a range by the VBA. Okay, so that's why I'm using here an error handler, because this line will throw us the error when you're going to use this set RNG equals to application in intersect change range D12 to Q12. When this line is going to be executed, what will happen? There will be no intersection found. So let's go and check that. First of all, see this. The moment I'm going to run this line, right? Because your what is your range? Your range right now is it is actually a part of your D12 to Q12, right? So that's why we are the code is not going in the then mode, right? Because you can't say that it is not nothing. Of course it is something, because what you did is what you deleted the value, that value is deleted in the E12 and sorry, D12, and D12 is a part of the range in this intersection line, right? But the question now comes, what is the target value? Okay, so let's go and check that the target value. So if I just go and put the if I just show you, let me put the watch code here, because now the target value is nothing. Okay, because you have deleted it, there's no value coming here. You can see here in the target value there's nothing coming, right? So when you run this line, what happens? This line generates the error. Okay, this line is going to generate the error because target cannot be empty, it has a range data type, guys, right? So it cannot be nothing, and that's why this line will generate the error whenever you delete something. And this is where the the point, the real action comes. Now what I did is I said that go in the error handler this and make sure this variable, the check variable, which is right now 0, make this variable as 2. So whenever it comes in the error handler, we will have this check variable as 2, and then the target value, my target value, which is this value, it has to be hyphen. This is what I have written here. Now you can see here, the moment the hyphen sign inserted here, this event will again run. This is the problem with these events, they keep on running sometime, they make the infinite loops, because this event will always run whenever there is a change in the value. And the moment you write here hyphen, so what happened? A change happened, right? Your cell was blank when you delete it. So when you print here hyphen, again your event will run, but this time my job is done, I do not want to run this. So that's why what I did, I said that if in the error area it comes, the code comes, we will make the check as 2. So now what will happen, the next time when you run this code, your check will be 2. If the check is going to be 2, then we will make sure that the check is going to be 0, and then we will exit from the macro. Okay, now and then after it exit, the program stops. This is how, guys, we have planned this. Now for those who do not know the error handlers, they can go and check my some videos on the error handlers under the playlist Excel VBA introduction. And the second thing which is very important is that you have made this check variable as a module level variable. This is not a local variable, guys. There is a reason for that, because you want to carry forward this value. The moment you execute this check as 2, and when you come back to this code, your check variable will be 0. And if the check variable is going to be 0, this condition will never this condition will never is going to is going to be found true here, right? Because check is always going to be 0. That is why you want to create this variable on the module level, so that its real value should not be lost, right? Because the moment I come from the moment you change this target value to hyphen and the program again runs, the local variable, they always lose their values. So you have to make sure that the check should not be 0. Okay, so this is how you make the entire this program. Okay, so two important lines. The first line is this line where you check that whether the change is happening in the D12 to Q12. For that we have used the application dot intersect, right? And the second important line is that if I delete something, that means this target is going to show me nothing. It is going to show me the error, right? Because this target cannot be a blank cell, because blank cell does not mean the range, so it has to be a range. Range means some cell address. That is why when you delete something here and when you try to execute this line, that the target value is it not equals to blank, this line throws the error, right? If I just go and comment all these error handlers, you find here, you get to know what I'm saying. For example, now see this, I'm gonna write here 88. The 88 is entered. Okay, now let me put the break code here and I just go and remove this. Now you have deleted the cell, so your this target is nothing, which is wrong, because VBA clearly says that the target has to be a range, so it cannot be nothing, right? So what will happen when you run this entire code, obviously your intersection part is going to return you something, because what you deleted is that is found in the D12 to Q12. So this then will not be executed. We will get into the else if mode. But now when the moment you run this line, which is this, that the target value, if the target value is not equals to space, this comparison is not possible, because target dot value is coming as nothing, right? So this line will throw the error called the type mismatch, because you can't describe nothing in the range. Range is a different data type, right? So that's why very cleverly I said that this error will always come whenever I'm gonna delete something. So I said that, okay, so let's do one thing. Whenever the error comes, let's create the error handler, and let's then do one thing. Let's make sure that there is a variable check equals to 2, and that variable after that get the value as 2. Let's make sure the target value should be hyphen. So that's why you see here the hyphen. But the moment you see the hyphen here, again there is a change process happened, because you have changed the value again from empty cell to a hyphen. So your macro, this again will run, because these are the events, they keep on running on the auto mode as long as they are their conditions getting satisfied. So when you're putting here the hyphen, that means the change event happening, and when the change event happening, this macro will again trigger. But the second time I do not want to trigger this, so that's why I said that if the check is going to be 2, then first make that 0 and then exit. You have to make this 0 because of the reason this is my module level variable. So if you're not gonna make that 0, it will the next time carry forward that value. So we are making sure before we exit this should be 0, and that is how the plan is, right guys? So this is how this entire thing is going to work. So when you remove the breakcode from the background, user won't be even knowing what is happening, right? So if you have to increase this entire range, you can do that. For example, if you have to include let's say this range as well, this row as well, so what do you need to do? You just need to check that this is your D12 to Q12, so this is going to be now Q13, isn't it? So I just go and write here Q13. For example, I just go and change that to Q13, right? Now the moment I write here something, let's say I write here 99, you see that 99 is coming. The moment I delete this, can you see that guys? This is how the entire program is run. right? So thank you so much, and David, and I hope all of you will love this the program. And guys, one more thing I want to tell you, that I really want that, we should be sharing this, the channel work, all these videos with other people as well, because honestly speaking, it has been 3 years and you can see that my subscriber rate is just 7,000, right? So I really need your help, I really need your support. And by the way, you guys give me very few likes. I don't know, I mean, why is it so? Because I'm doing my best to make sure that you learn all the things over here, and whatever best at least I can do from my YouTube channel, I'm doing it for you. So please don't hesitate to like on the videos, and please, I really want that you share the channel videos with other people as well, so that we can have a big subscriber base over here. Okay, so thank you so much. I'm signing off, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.